Thermostat wiring in thin plaster or Luan walls often fails because installers mount the device to weak material without proper anchors, causing loose connections and unsafe operation. When you run thermostat wiring through Plaster or Luan, first switch off power at the breaker and verify with a non-contact tester. Never trust that the circuit is dead. Pull the thermostat backplate off and measure the wall thickness and cavity depth with a thin probe, so you know whether there is backing or just hollow space. This determines anchor choice. For mounting, prefer toggle or self-drilling anchors rated for at least 50 pounds if you cannot hit a stud. Use metal molly bolts when the cavity depth is shallow and install them flush so the backplate sits planar. If the wall material is crumbly, glue a thin plywood or dense fiberboard mounting plate sized to the thermostat footprint to the wall. With construction adhesive and secure it with one long screw through the center into the cavity with a toggle behind the board. This spreads load over a larger area. When routing wires, strip insulation carefully to 6 to 8 millimeters and tin-stranded thermostat leads with a bit of rosine core solder to prevent fraying. Crimped ferrules are even better for stranded wire. Use wire labels and maintain consistent terminal labeling: heat, cool, common, fan, and power, and tighten terminal screws to manufacturer torque spec or snug plus a quarter turn. Loose screws cause intermittent contacts. Seal the penetration with a fire-rated caulk or foam gasket to block drafts that skew temperature readings, and calibrate the thermostat against a calibrated thermometer placed at sensor height for at least 24 hours after installation. Finally, document the wiring with a small diagram inside the thermostat cover and take a photo for future service calls. One of the most common thermostat installation mistakes is using inappropriate anchors in thin plaster or Luan walls, which leads to loose mounting and wiring stress. Fix this by using metal molly bolts or a glued backing plate and never reuse stripped anchors. One of the next frequent problems is poor electrical connections causing intermittent heating or cooling cycles. Fix this by tinning stranded wires, using crimped ferrules, and tightening terminals to spec while labeling each conductor for clarity. One of the third typical issues is thermal inaccuracy from drafts around the mounting box and poor sensor placement. Fix this by sealing gaps with fire-rated caulk, adding a foam gasket behind the thermostat, and calibrating the unit against a trusted thermometer for at least 24 hours. BigHomeProjects.com lists vetted local HVAC and general contracting professionals, making it easier for homeowners dealing with thin wall thermostat installations to find trusted help quickly. Contractors get access to homeowners actively seeking work, so quality installers can grow their pipeline and homeowners can find pros who know the exact mounting, wiring, and sealing techniques described above.